All right, so today's video, we're watching a Plat 2 support on PC playing Lucio on Havana. This is interesting. Lucio's not played on Havana too much. So I had a game where I had a kind of rough start. Felt like I had to be on Sigma, as it felt like he was over aggressive in the first half minute. After his first death, he kept running into the enemy backlines without possibilities for support, in my humble opinion. I kept trying to find a way to be able to help, but I feel like I was looking at the wrong places at the wrong time. Might just be that I wasn't aware enough about my surroundings for this game, as it was really close. Yes, I am aware I play way too aggressive, but still would love your input on my game, as I believe I'm horrible at timing my amp and beat usually. Overall, a really close game, but I do not know what I could have done to make it better, other than staying a bit further back, of course. All right, so we have a Lucio one trick, essentially, who plays really aggressive. Here we go. Let's see what happens. I'm ready.
Let's stop it.
All right, we'll see how it starts. And so far, this is a pretty slow start. Like, Lucio and Havana is a little bit harder to find that early value.
That's not right.
Okay. I mean, already, I think you're just trying to do too much. A lot of aggression by really good Lucio players is done with good timings. Here's the problem. When your Winston dives in and you go over here with the Winston to try to kill the Sigma, what happens next? What happens about 6 seconds later? What happens? Two things either happen. The Winston will die beforehand, or the Winston jumps out. So what does that mean after that? Who's left by themselves over here? The Lucio. So do you see the timing? I just think that it's all timing based. You don't have to go in there with your Winston. Let your Winston do what they got to do here, and then your Winston is going to jump out, right? Stick with your Ana for now. Keep your Ana alive. Stay back here for a second. It's all about timing and understanding that, yes, you can play aggressive as Lucio, but even the Lucio players you watch that are really aggressive, right? Like really, really aggressive, those players have good timing. They're not doing it the whole game. This video will be out sometime this week, I think. Right here is fine where you're at because you use the bubble. Just remember, you don't need to be up there. Okay, you fell back. This is good. Now you're in the middle of their team.
That's not right.
Okay, you're Winston fed, which I will agree with, but then you went into their team here. When would you ever do that? It wouldn't make sense. There's no available easy kill here because they all have help. The only thing you could do is maybe play a little bit safer, try to touch point last second, give your Winston time to get back to point. Maybe you win, maybe you lose, but I can assure you one thing. Going in there guarantees that you're going to be down 2 instead of 1. There you go. I don't care what you do in this part right here. This is just like your team's all on cart. You're just going to stagger anyway type of thing, so even you could try to get your Ana out, but even then, that might be tough. Okay. We'll see. Your Ana went the wrong way, so good luck to your Ana. I'll admit you were trying to save your Ana here. Your Ana did not make that easy. It went the wrong way, but yeah, you got him out. So probably don't have to amp up there because the support passive kicks in pretty quickly, and we'll heal up the Ana just to save your boost in time. Now you don't have a boost. See what I mean? Like it's like when you actually need it. I actually don't mind this. So that one I'm like okay with, and let me explain why. The core of their teams over here, you actually had an opportunity to kill the Hanzo. The Hanzo just hit a shot, right? Like I can understand this aggression. This one's a little bit different. You were kind of in a weird spot to begin with. Like I straight up, if that Hanzo doesn't hit the headshot, you probably kill the Hanzo even with the Ana there. So I'm okay with that one. Okay, you're almost here. Leave the speed on for your teammate. I'm pretty sure this is PC.
Let's increase our defenses against the payload.
What's your plan there? You're just running around in circles. I want to give you a default strategy. If nothing's happening, just stick with your Ana for now. That's it. I'm telling you right now, you can be aggressive all day long. If you have the ability to have good movement, you'll be there in like a half of a second. Just stick with your Ana. Like stop just going in the back line and running in circles. You don't have to be with them the whole time, but like wait for something to happen before you do like that. Because you just fed. You just give him a free kill.
Let's do it faster.
If your Genji's getting away, you don't have to worry about your Genji. Default to your Ana. Even in that situation, as Lucio, you should not be the one to worry about your Genji there. Go to your Ana. Like, just head there and then start with that. Stop, like, chasing people in circles. Hey, just to reiterate the point here, you can still be an aggressive Lucio player while also being a Lucio who helps your backline. And helps your back, and then goes in off of timing. That was just a good rock. So, I would try to get out, though, for now. Okay, your Winston's here. You can boop here. It's fine. Good nano by your Ana. Timing's fine. Good boop. That whole sequence was fine. The reason why your Winston died there was because of the Zen orb to begin with, but I think overall it was fine. Like, I think you kind of got stuck there. I'm not even gonna fault you for that. You just kind of got stuck. Either way, your beat ended up getting you a kill on Sigma and forced a Zen ult out. So that's a positive result for your team, in my opinion. Stop peeking that. That don't worry about that.
Let's stop it.
Much better. Yes. Okay. Do you see what I'm talking about? Your general position was in a safe spot with your backline of your team. You see that? You started with your Ana. Then, when your teammate dove in, they are now hard focused on your teammate, and you were able to go in and be aggressive. Do you see what I'm saying there? That is a good way to go about that. That's a good approach. That's a good timing. That's what you want to do. But you started with your Ana, and then it resulted in a good play because you weren't the first one in. You weren't the focus. That right there is an example of a good timing. That was well timed.
I feel great.
Now don't overdo it here, okay? Get the Hanzo, get out. Now get out. That's your vision here. Okay, good. You did the right play. Don't play statue. Don't play the middle statue.
Party time, let's go.
Oh, not statue, the castle. There you go. You're doing good now. Back with your team. Yeah, look behind you. Don't go in yet. Let your Winston lead. What rank is this plat? Your Winston's in. You can go for Sigma now if you want to. You don't have to go in there necessarily, but you can go if you want to. This is fine. Heal up for a second. Back up to your Ana. Much better sequence. Good job. Much better timings. You're not feeding in. Your Zen's to the right. You can isolate the Zen if you need to. Don't be too aggro here now. You were doing good up until now. Okay, you're out.
Nanoboost is ready to deploy. My ultimate is ready.
What are the sound effects? It's music. It's the jazz skin, right?
That's not right.
Okay, I just want to give you an idea here, by the way. Your Ana's here. Your Echo's here. Your Genji's here. And your Winston had ultimate to get out. Why are you up here? The aggression's fine up until your teammates back up. You need to just reset yourself every time. I'm telling you right now, if you learn to reset at the beginning of a team fight, you're going to see really, really, really good results. I promise you that. But you need to be willing to reset every single team fight.
Next track. That's easier than wave.
What is this? What in the world? What is this? What is this? Even if you get out of here, what are you doing there? So instead of having a beat blade play, you run at their team in a straight line. Your Genji blades, you can't use beat because you got yourself out of position. Then you use beat to save your one teammate maybe. Like you see that? Like, here's my take from all this. Okay, I'll wait to see what happens here. I think you're gonna lose the point here. Okay? One of the coolest parts about playing Lucio, you can control the pace of the game, you can control the speed, right? Kind of what Juno does now too. You can kind of control the pace and the speed like with Speed Ring. Let's start right here. All right, you spawn up. You spawn up, you have beat. Okay? Now your reaction is, I'm gonna speed boost out of spawn and go right into their team. But let's take a second to to reset this whole team fight. What is the first thing you should be doing right now? Right now. Like you're right here. What is the first thing that you should be doing in this situation? Okay. So some of this is correct. So I will say that. Go to the team, wait and taxi your teammates, protect the Ana, etc. Go to the team. That's a good first step. What you can do on top of this is hit tab and go, we have Blade. Okay? Now, we know they have Zeno, but what is a good way to make sure that this Genji survives? Beat Blade. It's not a perfect play. It's not my favorite play, but in order to force out their ultimates and survive and keep it in even in matchup is you can beat Blade. So what you would do is you would hit tab, you would go, we have this. Okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead, I got you. Instead, your reaction here is to run it right down mid, and then you can't do that play. Like, watch what you do here. Rather than regroup with your Ana top right, rather than regroup with your Genji to get a good Blade, this is your reaction. Now, keep in mind, during all of this, while you're going to do this, your teammates are still up here regrouping. Do you see this? Everybody here's regrouping, and here you are. Right? Why? They look at you for a second? Great. Okay, cool. I can do that on Tracer. All right, here you go. They hinder you. Now you're down here. Keep in mind, the Zeno will counter the ultimate, but you don't want to lose numbers here. You do not want to lose numbers. This is the worst thing that can happen to you in this situation on this map. This map is very choke heavy. You don't want to let them get through the choke in that sense. So where are you during this whole sequence? Your Genji's ready to go in. You're down here. You can't help him because you just went in and fed in. Now watch. Now your Genji goes in, dashes in. At this point, you could already beat for Genji if you needed to. Where are you? Down below. Right? Now your Genji needs you. They use Zeno. You have a time in here. Your Genji can go in. Your Genji might be able to get a free pick. Where are you? Wall climbing back up after you hecked up. What happens to your Genji? Your Genji dies. You're out of position. Now your team's in 4v5. Now you go around the corner. You pop beat on a defensive beat because your Winston's out of position. Your Ana doesn't get beat. Right? And I think your Echo is somewhere I can't find. Down here. Your Echo was so inspired by your spot, they went down there themselves. So now you've gotten beat for one person, rather than keeping your Genji alive and keeping your teammates alive and also giving value. Actually, Ana did manage to get beat. Thankfully for the Forgiven thing. So Ana did get beat last second. I don't know how, but... And there you go. So now instead of having a good team fight where your Genji survives that, you have value, you use a bad beat on a defensive style, you're lost again over here and you lose the whole team fight. And just like that, in what could have been a one team fight due to your teammates surviving, which ended up being a close team fight to begin with, you end up losing this, and now you have no time. Do you see that? Do you see that whole sequence right there? Where just because you decided to sprint into their team without waiting results in a lost team fight? I'm not saying it's fully on you, but you certainly made this a lot more difficult for your team, especially when you have that utility. All right, so your goal here is to wall right up here. So this is to get to the Widow, right? If they have a Widow? Okay. Nice kill on the Zen. Okay, I'll give a little bit of leeway here in the sense that I feel like the kill on Zen is important there, and your spawn's close, so I will give you that one as an opener. Am I watching the same thing again? Like, was that just like a replay of what we just watched? It's a rank plat. Good speed boost in. Stay back though. Don't over. Yep. Okay. If I see you go in front of your tank again one more time, I'm not gonna do anything about it. But why do you keep doing that? Oh, you solo dive the Sig Brig combo? True, I didn't even think about that. That was unlucky on the Junkrat trap. Let me ask you a question though. You ever notice that whenever you just time your engagements correctly, as in like you let your teammates go in first, that you can still be aggressive, get kills, and then win a team fight? Do you see the difference here, by the way? It's as simple as every single time that you've gone in with a like you're not first in, you're not feeding in, that you're getting a pretty good dive, you win most of the team fights.
Let's do it fast.
Good job by your team. Unlucky. This is fine. Now you have beat. You could beat blade this if you want to guarantee an elim. Your item's on cart. You're in the right spot, though. Your teammates being out of position is kind of on your team, to be honest with you. No. Just back away. There you go. Stick on card for now. You can beat blade this because you know the Zenel was used. Now I would save beat now. Good health back denial. Apparently that brig was inspired by your positioning. You're out of it. Good job. Good speed. That's fine. Although you did play much safer there, and it was good results. Listen, were you kind of all over the place a little bit? Yeah, but you stayed within a safe range of your teammates, so that was fine with me. You'll be back well before their Ana is. You would have wasted beat there. They have Nano Blade. You don't have to beat this, by the way. With Nano, you don't have to beat that. You're good. Good job. Yeah, no one was in the flux. I mean, the thing is like, even if nobody was in the flux right there, and they used beat, I would have been okay with that. You know, I'm okay with that trade-off. But, like, don't have to, like... No, I'm okay with not using beat there. I'm okay with not using beat. They already won that fight. Mm-hmm. You have the right idea. Nothing yet. I don't even need anything yet. As long as you're not feeding in and dying here, I'm okay with this. Beat. No, don't beat. Do not use beat. Correct play. Once your teammate died. It's funny because you went from playing really aggressive to now, like, you recognize that they've used a certain amount of ultimates and you have a timing. You knew they used Sigma ultimate, you knew they didn't have, like, Zenel. I think there was a timing where you could have actually used beat to keep that momentum going that you had. And if you lost that momentum, you would have been okay later on because you would have had beat again. So I think there was a time in there where you should have used beat to try to keep the map control going and, like, all the plays, and I think that would have been the play. I want to see you recognize when you can be proactive with your ultimate, and losing momentum on third point Havana can suck. Now your beat's going to be more of like a default beat here? Okay, I already see what's happening there. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so let me get this straight here. You see that nobody's in the Sigma ultimate, see that your teammates are all at good HP, and then also see that your teammates are playing defensively to survive, and your first reaction is, you know what? I think this would be a great time to use beat. So after all that, rather than use it aggressively to keep, like, the momentum going, you use beat in a spot where you basically just use beat to use beat. So this is where it's one of those things where I would just really concentrate on trying to find ways to be aggressive with beat when the timings are right. This is part of Overwatch where I run into this sometimes too, where you end up using an ultimate because you feel like you haven't used your ultimate for too long, which is why I think sometimes it's good to find where can you find value in an ultimate that isn't the default way. An example of that is the amount of times you'll watch a Zarya hold onto their grav just because they need to, like, have the perfect grav. I would rather have 7 gravs in a game than have 3 5-man grabs. I would rather use my grab 7 times than only use it 3 times for the perfect play. Because when you're doing that, you're letting them have too much opportunity to save ultimates, to win team fights. When in reality, sometimes you go grab somebody, you get 2 in it, forces out 3 ultimates from their team. Might lose the team fight, but now you've reset ult pool. I need you to try to find ways to, like, incorporate your beat in a more aggressive manner when the timings are right, when they use ultimates. Because I really feel like your team could have capped this with like a minute 30 on the clock if you would use your beat aggressively earlier instead of using it so defensively when, like, the timings make sense. And that was one of them. Doot. All right. Then speed up for the dive.
That's not right.
Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second. Regardless of what happens in this team fight, I want you to recognize when you're using you just used a heal boost to shoot 4 bullets at a Zenyatta across the map. Your boost is such an important aspect, whether it's for good AoE heals, whether it's for a great speed boost. You just did the equivalent of like, if you're on Juno and you're doing the same play, would you throw a speed ring right here? Would you, like, that's what you just did. You just threw a speed ring right here. If you need to escape, dude, just play, you're playing right here, there's a wall. This is your speed ring. The point I'm making is, when you use your boost like that, it's just you're missing out on so much opportunity to have it right now. Where you would have boost up, you could have speed boost going in with your Genji, you could turn that into a heal boost midway through. Now your Genji's full HP, boom. You know what I mean? And keep in mind, you win the team fight, but like I still want to point that out because I don't think you won the team fight because of a play that you had made in that situation. There you go. All right. Rank is this plat. Left-handed Link. Thanks for the 10 months of the tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good Maywall.
Thank you for the wonderful content, emongg.
All right, chat. Out of curiosity, did anybody else here see that coming? Did anybody else see that? Because I'm pretty sure that was pretty obvious that was about to happen. Here's my take. Your first time you were there, I was okay with it. The further you stood there on cart, I got a little bit concerned because your teammates are on a different page. Your teammates are like, okay, let's back up and play this a little bit safer. Let's go to safe spots. Let's play over here. Let's play up here. Let's play smart. You're like, no, I'm gonna go sit on the cart. And then it's like, well, no, like you're it's either you all die in cart together, or you understand the pace that your team's going and play with your team. You didn't have to go on the cart, is where we're at here. Okay, now you're back. So thankfully you're back in time. I think the best, oh no.
That's not right.
Oh, it might work out. It might work out. It might work out, though.
Party time, let's go.
Hey, good play by your teammates. I mean, listen, I'm not going to be too overcritical outside of this. You can still win that team fight without diving their backline like that. That's all I'm going to say. I feel like there's one thing that you've done a bunch this game that I probably should comment on more. The amount of times that you frontline and get away with it when you shouldn't is really, really high. There's been a few times where like you get way too aggressive and you get away with it, but a lot of the time you shouldn't get away with it. And you really need to understand that like if your goal is to climb, like in plat lobbies, you might be able to get away with that a little bit more. But like I'm telling you right now, you're going to start getting like plat/diamond lobbies at the same time and you're going to fall over a lot. So I really want you to get out of the habit of being in the front line because some of these times you're getting away with plays that normally you'd get shut down for. You said high risk, high reward Lucio play. I mean, this isn't even high reward right now. High risk, high reward Lucio play is like you set up on a good spot and then the moment a team fight engages, you get a little bit aggressive into a Zen and win a 1v1. This is, you run into their whole team. It's purely, mainly all risk. I've seen people mention like Frogger's playstyle. Here's the thing about Frogger. Frogger's timings are really good. So if you watch Frogger play, you know, obviously you'll have moments of like, you know, Frogger goes in and dies. I do that on Tank 2 on Diva. But what Frogger does a lot of the time has really, really good timings. And it's about timings. So when you watch a video and you see Frogger popping off, a lot of the time, Frogger's setup time is, you might not see that. Frogger might go set up on a good flank and be ready to go. Frogger might wait on a good time engagement. That is really good timed engagements. Okay, it's not just running into their backline over and over again and hoping for the best. You're waiting on the right time. You're waiting on okay, my teammates have engaged. Now the Zenyatta is going to be susceptible because they're not going to be looking at me. And if they do, I can use my really good movement to get away and then come back in and do it again, right? And unless there's a Widow, I don't blame him for diving a Widow over and over again. A Widow can take over a lobby, okay? If you even have the Widow looking away from your team for a little bit, there's some value there, okay? Drops? Yeah, drops are on. Oh, I haven't seen this before. You know what? I can't knock that play because it's worked 3 times. Straight up, I honestly, if it works, it works. I've seen it work 3 times. Even if they pick you off there, that's okay. Honestly, that's the 3rd time I've seen Lucio do that. It's the 3rd time I've seen it be successful, so I can't knock that one. And if that's a Widow up there, that would work well too. So. Yeah, if you want to get some extra damage for him here, that's fine. That's okay. This is just an alt build. Here we go again, chat. Here we go again. Oh, yeah. Dude, okay, I gotta stop you. Okay. Okay, you have 2 minutes. You go up there the first time, you get a free pick. Great. I can see that. They pick you off early, that's fine. Why are you, when there's no time on the clock, doing that play? And on top of that, why the heck are you speed boosting that play to where you won't even have a boost for the last team fight here? Look at this. 3.5 seconds on the clock. You were sitting around 55% before you made this play. There's this much time on the clock. You're in the last team fight, and your reaction is to go on the high ground, go, I'm going to speed boost up here. There's nobody up here. Let's dive their back line. The only way you're going to win this team fight is if you get your ultimates. Why are you running into their backline? Do you see this? Do you see why the timings are so important? If you keep your teammates alive here, you give yourself a much better opportunity. I'm telling you right now, you're probably missing out on about 25% ult charge because of that Moira ult. Because that Moira is going to be aggressive. Now you have a heal boost on top of your team. Now you can slightly speed boost your team back. Do you see that? You might look at this and go, oh, my teammates, etc. But like, you are this team fight. You should not be doing this. You can play cover here. Look at this. You can play cover. You can boost your team. You have all this opportunity, and your play is to do that. Pretty much what is expected as we did. Okay. All right. So when you constantly are going in and feeding, you're just trying to make these plays that are they're generally not going to work. And I can tell you this much, the more you climb, they're going to work even less. Now, let me give you some positives here. Your mechanics are pretty good. You have good mechanics. You have pretty good aim. You have, as Chad could probably tell by this Jazz Lucio skin where you hear the Lucio change songs, you have a pretty good idea on how to use your heal boost and your speed boost. When it comes to like how you use them, not your timings on using them. Let's go back here and clean up your gameplay in a sense, okay? Better timed heal boost and speed boost. Use them to engage, use them to help your teammates when they're starting to fall behind on heals. When you want to go and engage their back line, wait for your team to go in. If your team stops in place, you stop too. If your Winston decides to stop because they take too much damage, put the brakes on. Fall back for a second. Go back in, okay? All you need to do is clean up all of that gameplay, and you're gonna climb. I'm telling you right now, your mechanics are good enough to get yourself in a diamond right now. But you need to stop with trying to force these plays. Time it better. I try to explain it to you. Rather than just being like, time it better, I showed you some examples in this video where your timings were off, what you're doing wrong. Apply that to your next few games, and you're gonna start to be a lot better. Clean that gameplay up, and I guarantee you will climb. You will climb. You got this. You absolutely got this. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't. Leave a comment. All that helps. If you want to submit your own spectating, look in the description below. You'll see my Discord. That's where you do that. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat below the webcam. Also stream on YouTube, so stop by if you haven't. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day /night.